Hi everyone, this is Eagle News. I'm Ken Cruz in Washington. It's Saturday, December 10, 2022, here in the nation's capital. The week's recap begins with our children's online safety. Rochelle Faria tells us about the World Health Organization's latest strategy to combat predators on the web.
Amid a growing worldwide concern of keeping children safe online, a new report published by the World Health Organization recommends strategies to keep them away from two forms of online violence. They are child sexual abuse, including grooming and sexual image abuse, and cyber aggression and harassment in the form of cyberbullying, cyberstalking, hacking, and identity theft. The report underscores implementing educational programs directed at children and parents. It also includes implementing school-based educational programs, promoting interaction among youth, and engaging parents. It suggests training youth in specific life skills such as assertiveness, empathy, problem-solving, emotion management, and help-seeking. WHO highlights the need for improvements, including the need for more violence prevention programs, less emphasis on stranger danger, and more emphasis on acquaintance and peer perpetrators. More attention to healthy relationship skills because romance and intimacy seeking are major sources of vulnerability to online violence. WHO says internet access offers many possibilities for children and young people. This includes fostering learning, developing personal and professional skills, expressing creativity, and participating in society. Rochelle Faria, Washington, D.C., Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
Meanwhile, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres urges member states to do more in promoting unwavering action against the rise of genocide's early warning signs. Joanne Soriano reports.
December 9 is the International Day of Commemoration and Dignity for the victims of the crime of genocide and the prevention of this crime. UN Chief Antonio Guterres says it is a day to re-examine the world's collective failure to present this crime in the past and to redouble prevention efforts for the present and the future. Guterres says 70 years after the adoption of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, the threat of genocide remains present in many places around the world. He says discrimination and hate speech, which are early warning signs of genocide, are on the rise everywhere. The UN chief urges member states to do more to prevent resolute action against these dangerous trends. He says more must be done to live up to the commitment to liberate humanity from the scourge of genocide. According to the World Atlas, the worst genocides in history include killings of the Jewish people in the 1940s, the Ukrainians in the 1930s, the Cambodians in the 1970s, and the Rwandans in 1994. Joanne Soriano, New York, New York, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
14 people, all engineering students at the École Polytechnique de Montréal, were shot dead more than 3 decades ago. The reason? They were women. Today, tragedy still sparks pain and reminds people around the world to continue the fight against gender-based violence. In Toronto, Joshua Santillana tells us more.
33 years ago, an act of violent misogyny shook Canada. On December 6, 1989, 14 young women, engineering students at École Polytechnique de Montréal, were shot and murdered, simply because they were women. Marc Lépin entered the university with the intent to kill women. Lépin blamed them for his failure to get accepted to the engineering program. Armed with a semi-automatic weapon, he separated a mechanical engineering class by gender and opened fire at the women while screaming and calling them feminists. He committed suicide after. 14 young women were murdered, along with 13 other people wounded.
It was on that day that 14 women were killed at Polytechnique Montréal because they were women. They were young, bright engineering students who had the world ahead of them. Geneviève Bergeron, Hélène Colgan, Nathalie Croteau, Barbara Daniel, Anne-Marie Edward, Maud Havernick, Maurice Lagunière, Maurice Leclerc, Anne-Marie Lemay, Sonia Pelletier, Michel Richard, Annie Saint-Arnaud, Annie Turcotte, Barbara Kluznik Gdyfjets. We must remember their names.
Because of this tragedy, the Coalition for Gun Control was formed, which aided the federal firearm control legislation. To this day, the Government of Canada recognizes December 6 to be a national day of remembrance and action on violence against women. It is also known as White Ribbon Day. This is to remember all those who have experienced gender-based violence and those who people have lost to it. Joshua Santillana, Toronto, Ontario. Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
In other news, a new virtual center that aims to improve public health and well-being has been launched. The USDA says it's to benefit particularly underserved communities. EJayGonzales has more.
The U.S. Agriculture Department, or USDA, announces its new Agricultural Science Center of Excellence for Nutrition and Diet for Better Health, or ASCEND for Better Health. The agency says this is in support of President Joe Biden's cancer moonshot effort to end the nation's second most common cause of death. This new virtual center aims to accelerate research on diet-related chronic diseases, including cancer. USDA says one of the long-term goals of the center is to translate research into impactful solutions. This to improve public health and well-being, particularly in underserved communities. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack says ASCEND will bring together scientists, partner organizations, and communities to develop and deliver science-based solutions that improve the health and well-being of all Americans. As part of the announcement, USDA convened a panel of experts that discuss the role nutrition plays in improving overall health and reducing risks for diet-related chronic diseases. Cancer.org says a total of 1.9 million new cancer cases and 610,000 deaths from cancer are expected to occur in the U.S. just this year. This equates to roughly 1,670 deaths a day. EJayGonzales, Alexandria, Virginia, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation is warning online shoppers of holiday scams, saying two of the most common are non-delivery and non-payment schemes. In Las Vegas, Jalen Valdecantos reports.
Black Friday may be over, but people's emails and social media are still filled with the best deals during this holiday season. Every year, thousands of people become victims of holiday scams. The two most common types of scams are non-delivery and non-payment crimes, according to the FBI. In a non-delivery scam, a buyer is the victim because they pay for goods or services they find online but end up not receiving what they ordered. On the other hand, a seller becomes the victim in a non-payment scam after shipping the goods that were ordered without receiving payment. The Internet Crime Complaint Center, or IC3 for short, filed a report in 2021. It stated non-payment and non-delivery scams cost people more than $337 million. The same report stated that credit card fraud accounted for an additional $173 million in losses. According to the FBI, auction fraud, when an item is misrepresented on an auction site, and gift card fraud, when a seller asks you to pay with a prepaid card, are also common scams people need to be aware of. So when shopping online this holiday season, or any time of year, do your part to avoid becoming a scammer's next victim. Whether you're buying or selling online, the FBI advises to practice good cybersecurity hygiene. Don't be quick to click on any suspicious links or attachments in emails, websites, or on social media. These are called phishing scams. They have the goal of getting you to give up personal information, like your name, password, bank, or credit card number. Next, know who you're selling to or buying from. If the website's URL doesn't have the HTTPS in the web address, don't enter your personal information on sites like those. You should also do your research if you're buying from a company for the first time by checking their reviews. Bad reviews or hardly no reviews at all should raise a red flag. Also, never wire money directly to a seller and avoid paying for items with prepaid cards. In this prepaid card scam, the seller will ask you to send them the gift card number and PIN, but instead of using that gift card for your payment, the scammer will steal the funds and you'll never receive your item. If you remember one thing from all this, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. To everyone out there, take care and stay safe this holiday season. Jalen Valdecantos, Las Vegas, Nevada, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
Temperatures are dropping and cold weather is once again posing a threat to not only the environment, but also our health. What are some things we can do to keep safe? Carlo Valdez reports.
Wintertime here in this part of the world is just around the corner. In fact, in some regions, the winter chill is already being felt. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, says whenever temperatures drop below what feels lower than normal to you, and as wind speed increases, heat can leave your body more rapidly and leave you at risk of health problems. The CDC gives tips on how to stay safe and healthy when temperatures start to fall. Winterize your home by installing weather stripping, insulation, and storm windows. Get your car cold weather ready by servicing the radiator, maintaining antifreeze level, and replacing tires if necessary with all-weather or snow tires. The health agency also says keeping an emergency kit in the car is a smart way to be prepared. Include in your kit blankets, food, and water. Prevent carbon dioxide poisoning by installing a detector and making sure it is working. Make sure you change those batteries. Wear appropriate outdoor clothing and be aware of the wind chill factor. Learn how to avoid, spot, and treat frostbite and hypothermia. And for those especially with pets, bring them inside or provide adequate warm shelter and unfrozen water to drink. The CDC warns that extremely cold temperatures are often accompanied by winter storms, so be prepared to cope with power failures and icy roads. Stay safe this winter by making sure you and your loved ones are ready for it. Carlo Valdez, Union, New Jersey, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
In related news, health officials in southern Nevada are warning residents of wintertime respiratory illnesses. Here's Anna Kui on this week's Health is Wealth.
People commonly correlate winter with the flu season, and that is what we're seeing now with the rise of flu cases as well as RSV and the ongoing circulation of the COVID-19 virus. The Southern Nevada Health District here in Las Vegas warns the community about the impact these respiratory illnesses can have on the healthcare system, especially on individuals who are high risk for complications from these type of illnesses. The health agency reports more than 1,800 cases of RSV or respiratory syncytial virus in November, and that is a 200% increase compared to the same time last year. RSV is a common respiratory virus that primarily spreads when an infected person coughs or sneezes and can usually cause mild cold-like symptoms in most people. However, it can cause more serious illness in children under 2 years old, especially in infants less than 6 months old, and in older adults with underlying health conditions such as asthma, COPD, or congestive heart failure. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, monitors influenza-like illness through a surveillance network. Nationwide, in the last 2 weeks, 7.5% of patient visits reported were related to respiratory symptoms that included fever with cough or sore throat. This number is above the national baseline of 2.5%, according to CDC. And as you can see on this map, over 80% of all U.S. states and territories are indicated to have a high or very high influenza-like illness activity level. The local health agency here in Las Vegas recently announced the first 2 influenza deaths for this season. 2 women, one in her 40s and another in her 60s, died in November from complications of the flu. COVID-19 metrics are also trending upward, as well as hospitalizations are increasing, according to the health department. So prevention is key in protecting yourself and your family this winter season. While there is no vaccine for RSV, there are plenty of vaccines for the seasonal flu and the COVID-19 virus. And remember, continue to practice simple preventive measures like wash your hands, especially if you've been out in public. Avoid contact with people who are sick, stay home if you're sick, and wear a mask if you're going indoors, especially in crowded spaces. These simple measures may keep you and your family from being sick this winter season. Anna Kui, Las Vegas, Nevada. Eagle News, we live in extraordinary times.
President Joe Biden is joined by tech industry stars as he tours a new Taiwan computer chip plant in Arizona. Myla Simbulan on this week's Mind Your Business.
In the 4 months since signing into law the CHIPS and Science Act of 2022, President Joe Biden visits the site for a new computer chip plant in Arizona. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, hosts the president as it unveils plans for an upgrade of its capabilities in Phoenix. TSMC is the world's biggest maker of leading-edge chips. The event is a high-profile affair with figures from senior political allies and titans of the corporate world. This includes Apple's CEO Tim Cook, Micron CEO Sanjay Mehrotra, and TSMC founder Morris Chang. TSMC announces it is building a second Phoenix plant by 2026. This expands its investment in Arizona from $12 billion to $40 billion. It targets producing 600,000 microchips a year. Myla Simbulan, Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
In an effort to further assist kids in need with their education, city officials and educators in Irving, Texas come together for a night of entertainment for a cause. Here's Susan Husk on community care.
Every year since 2011, the Irving Schools Foundation Legacy Gala provides a night of festivities and fundraising to benefit the students in Irving, Texas. This year's event took place at the Four Seasons Resort with a 1940s Copacabana theme. Guests enjoyed live music and gourmet food, while the proceeds from the silent and live auctions, as well as the sponsorship, benefited programs for students. For the last decade, the Irving Students Foundation Legacy Gala has generated over $3.5 million in support of student programs.
Tonight, we're celebrating Copacabana, a 1940s theme, but all of this is to raise money for the children and their families in Irving ISD. Much of the funds raised tonight will go for food, for weekends, holidays, summer, when kids may not have enough food at home. So this supplements this, so none of the Irving ISD students need to worry about food. Some of the funds also go for grants for special projects, for teacher funds, many different things. So this is an opportunity to sponsor a child. So for $25, you can provide a child this great set of supplies. For $50, you can sponsor a child's holiday gift, something really nice like this. For $75, you can sponsor 10 weekend meals for a child to share with his family. And for $100, you can sponsor a child's uniform for the year.
Well, my name is Rick Stoper, and I'm the mayor of the city of Irving, and we're here tonight to enjoy the fundraiser for the Foundation for the Irving School System.
The purpose of tonight is to raise funds for the children in various programs. We do support for them in a lot of different ways. A lot of it is food for thought, because the children can't learn unless they are fed. So that is a big focus of our organization. It is so wonderful to be able to support the children that we have in our community, because they're our future.
Susan Husk, Eagle News, Irving, Texas. We live in extraordinary times.
Local fashion artists are the stars of the show in the recently concluded Papua New Guinea Fashion Week. Here's Echo Hortaleza Canyola on Oceania-At-A-Glance.
rain did not stop the Papua New Guinea Fashion and Design Week. Creations and fashion brands by local designers were the stars of the show. Organizer Janet Sio's vision for the industry is to provide marketing events and advanced trainings, where close to 900 aspiring and emerging fashion designers are trained. Sio says she aims for small-medium enterprises' growth and sustainability.
The development of the Papua New Guinea designs, you can see it right throughout now. They're wearing their own designs now. Prior to that, we used to wear Fijians or Samoan designs, but thankful for the program that we've rolled out and awareness, bringing it to Papua New Guineans that they can actually start businesses in this particular sector. The support tonight through the major sponsors of the National Gaming Control Board and the Tourism Promotion Authority in a big way to bring it out tonight. It shows the confidence and the understanding and the acceptance of such a vibrant industry that's coming up in Papua New Guinea. The idea is to promote our own designs in the world. And actually, I had a dream that one day we'll walk New York with a huli headdress and the designs in the New York runway. So maybe one day the dream will come true.
Elizabeth Bradshaw urges citizens to exercise teamwork and collaborate with other government agencies. This, she says, to form a mosaic of fashion industry that can change the perspective and dimension to break barriers and showcase authenticity of Papua New Guinea fashion creations internationally.
We can open doors for Papua New Guineans because the talent is raw, the talent is big. We support because we are proud Papua New Guineans and we want to get some of the vision of the government to see growth. We want to try to get the light out so Papua New Guineans can see and appreciate that, look, the other worlds have their fashion, their brand. Why don't we do ours? That's basically what we're doing, giving the platform and supporting growth that fashion can come uniquely our way. We have to have our own signature. For Papua New Guineans, dress up, look your best. Let's bring fashion to another level and stay beautiful.
Echo Hortaleza Quinola, Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. Eagle News, we live in extraordinary times.
The annual Gawad Amerika Awards honors the talent, ingenuity, and achievements of Filipinos from various industries and sectors. It underscores how Filipinos, no matter where they are, continue to make meaningful strides in society. In Hollywood, California, Alan Basalyahe has the report.
Every year, the Gawad Amerika Awards Night recognizes Phil-Am and Filipino individuals who've excelled in their area of expertise and who have in large part contributed to society. Aside from awards, this event also puts on a show, which we don't want to be late to. Among the performers were Gawad Amerika Awards winners, like renowned R&B singer Chris Lawrence. Awards were also presented for excellence in business. Recipients in this category shared some of their know-how for keeping pace with the demands of their trade.
Going into business is really tough, especially if you're young, but if you have a happy and positive mind, everything is possible. Actually, I just got my visa last month because of this award, so I am thrilled at the same time ecstatic.
My dream is not for me or for myself, but my dream is for other people. So it's a challenge over the years that technology keeps on changing, especially the digital marketing. So kailangan palagi kang nakikisabay.
For the Lifetime Achievement Award in Public Service, Net25's own Counterpoint host, attorney Salvador Pinello, was duly recognized. What do you expect to see in this night of celebration?
That I want to see for myself. I'm not familiar with this organization, but I'm, as I said, I'm honored that I'm being given the recognition. So I think I'll just enjoy it.
You've been trending before there was social media and online personalities. Is there a responsibility for influencers towards the people who might follow them?
Well, what is very important is you have to be truthful on everything and on anything that you deal yourself with, or if you're confronted with anything. Truth matters. That's very important.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that one of the highlights of Counterpoint is when you perform, And while I'm not going to make you sing any lines, I will say, unless you want to, sir, the mic is yours.
No, I'd rather not.
Attorney Sal, thanks for speaking with Net25 Eagle News.
Thank you. Let's net together.
Sa alam mo masasabi ko sa ating lahat, let us love one another. Pagmahalan tayo. Salamat po.
Now, we didn't press Attorney Pinello any further for our song, but take our word for it, he's quite the showman. Alan Basoyahe, Hollywood, California, Eagle News, we live in extraordinary times.
Before we let you go, here's our photo of the week. The 70-foot waterfall at the Letchworth State Park in western New York may be found 40 miles south of Rochester and 50 miles southeast of Buffalo. Look at that breathtaking view. Thank you, Abigail Dumlau, for this shot. And thank you all for joining us again. If there are stories or topics you want us to share with you, just comment below. View, like, share our other shows. City Limits with Alan Basolyahe. Connected with Dr. David. Take a seat and join us with Anna Kui. Plate Date with Mike Hudson and Friends. Plus, Journey, Stories of Filipinos in Canada with Kathleen, always best last name ever, Cruz. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Eagle News Live. I'm Ken Cruz. We live in extraordinary times. Happy weekend, everyone.